professional game, you get out with what you put into it. It's like a walk of life. If you're good enough, go out and get it, no more about it.
Not so much control in the centre of the field from Kilkenny as Richie Bennett sends it high and over the bar.
Your mother sends you down to the shop for a pound's worth of goods and she gives you 50 pence. You can't get the pound's worth of goods, can you?
Just about kept in. Oh, well, God, Shawnee Buckley. To do that to Tommaso Sheahy. He deserves to score from here. One of the highlights of the Sunday game.
Limerick went out there from the word go today. No more about it. They made all the running, that was it. Put the ball over the bar and the back of it, and that's it. No ifs, no buts.
Is there much time left? We have a couple of injuries. Here comes Kieran Carey. Carey leading the charge of the right brigade. 45 metres out. He's a chance to score. He's put it high.
There's no sympathy in this game for anybody.
Hello, and you're very welcome to episode 306 of Treaty Talk. It is myself, Tom Clancy, as ever, and I'm joined once again by the great Matt O'Callaghan of the Weekly Observer and Vale Stars. Matt, celebration mode at the weekend for us. We were along at the Camogie Awards and or the medal presentations. Fantastic evening, and we'll come to it later. But are you still a bit of a pep in your step since?
Yeah, Tom. I honestly thought that I would never see the day. We had such success in 2014 when we won 3 All-Irelands. And, it was fantastic to be there and to see 2 Munster Championship Cups and an All-Ireland. And, the significance of the All-Ireland, Tom, an All-Ireland under 16A. And, if you reflect on the path of camogie at the moment, the future is very, very bright. We reached the All-Ireland A-Shield final last year and got beaten by Antrim. We've won back-to-back Munster under 16s, and now we've won an All-Ireland under 16. And you must remember, it's A we're competing at.
Right,
It's the very, very top. And as I made the point to Kevin O'Connell the other night, as you said, when I went to Mallow for the semi-finals, we were really in with the big guns. The semi-finals were Limerick versus Kilkenny and Cork versus Galway. The 3 titans of the game, and to think that we would come out of that 4 as All-Ireland champions it's just, I have to pinch myself at times, Tom, to try and believe that it is right. But, it augurs so well for the future now. And we might have hit hard times in the last couple of years and the senior, but the future is very, very bright. Obviously I'd be a bit discontent with the structures of the various structures of the camogie championships and what have you, competitions, which you have me explaining to the president of the Camogie Association on Sunday night.
Never let him have his soup, Matt. You wouldn't let him.
I feel that people, when they come to a place like Limerick or any place like that, there has to be a certain amount of listening process, as to see what the people on the ground are thinking, because sometimes they can become detached. But in fairness, he was prepared to listen and he was prepared to debate, and that suited me. But Tom, I know we've very special guests waiting there on the wings, and I'm absolutely delighted with the guests that we have tonight, because they're coming in to talk about something that's very, very dear to my heart, and which I hope will evolve at the rate of knots over the next couple of years, right up to 2027. But before we introduce our guest, Tom, it would be remiss of me, and on behalf of, I presume, yourself and everybody in Limerick, to send our good wishes to Nicky Quaid. What a servant to Limerick GA, what a servant to the game of hurling, and his unfortunate injury that could rule him out for most of next year. And it isn't just Limerick and Effin that will be at a loss. The game of hurling will be at a loss, because in my opinion, and my views on Nicky Quaid and All Stars, and I'm not going to repeat it, but he has brought goalkeeping to a new level. And it is unfortunate that this injury at this hour of his career, that he has given so much, that he incurred that injury. But I'm sure I speak for everybody, every one of our listeners, every one of our viewers, every good wish to Nicky for a speedy recovery.
Yeah, and I suppose hopefully for Limerick, it'll open the door for someone now to step on to greatness, but indeed big shoes to fill. But look, we'll see how that plays out in the coming weeks. Yeah, so you mentioned a special guest this week. We're delighted to say we're joined right now by some fantastic folk from Mungret. I was going to say GA, it's GA, LGFA, Camogie. They're all under the name of Mungret. We're delighted to say John Fitzgibbon, Siobhan Horgan, and Mary Barry are joining us. Folks, how are you all doing there this evening?
Very well,
Good, Tom. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How are you, folks? Delighted to have you on.
Oh, Matt.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
And delighted to have representatives across the codes. That's what makes it so special this evening. And you know, I for one have been standing in awe at what you have been not only trying to do but achieving in Mungret as a club over the last couple of years. And you know, obviously, you will explain it all to us over the next half hour or so.
Yeah. We'll start, Donal. You're the current chair of the club. I want to talk to you about development first. Now, infrastructure, facilities, every club wants them. Not every club can get them. You're currently on the process of getting a long way towards a very, very well thought out plan, I must say. Really developing the grounds there. You have obviously a large playing membership. You're obviously trying to continue to grow that and continue to serve that. So just tell us an overview of what's going on currently in the grounds there in Mungret.
Yes, Tom. Some years ago, the plan we bought the extra land from through Limerick City County Council. Got 16 acres from them, and of course, obviously, probably in many ways the easy part of it. Then we applied for planning permission, and the plan was well thought out. Plan was to build an astroturf pitch, a ball wall, and obviously develop 3 playing pitches. To cater for the growing population of players we had. And having finally got planning permission 3 years ago, the work commenced a little over 2 years ago, and it went like clockwork, to be fair, with tremendous guys and fellows and girls involved in the actual planning, the organising and the work. I think it's important to state though at the outset that, as you alluded to yourself, or Matt alluded to, when a club embarks in major physical development, it's very easy to take the eye off the ball in relation to the playing side. Now, our own view in Mungret J Club is that, Mungret St Paul's J Club, that whatever else happens, the priority always has to be the playing of, the coaching of, the preparation of our teams. And about 4 years ago, we set a goal that we aim to get promoted in each section of, be it the boys, the adults, the men, the boys, the girls, and camogie, ladies football, the senior intermediate football, and we've almost all that completed now. This year has been a fabulous year. Our ladies football, after a lot of preparation, a lot of hard work, went up into senior ladies football for the coming year. The last year, our intermediate football team went up senior. Our senior hurling team went up to the Premier section. Our junior hurling team went up to intermediate junior football, up to Premier, and we won the 221. So we've been very fortunate in that sense that the playing side of it has always got the priority, and no individual has come to us where we said, look, we have no money, we have to put it into the actual development. We've been able to get it for that. So far, so good.
Yeah. Now, it's been a huge effort, obviously, as you say. Now, you're probably there heading it up in terms of trying to coordinate it all. The facilities, when it's done, I mean, what's the overall cost expected to be? I know you've done fundraising, you've got some of the sports capital fund, but I mean, what sort of level of investment are we talking here? I know some clubs will embark on smaller projects, but this is a significant enough development for obviously yourselves and even as Limerick GA as a whole in terms of a new facility and a new dawn for amenities in the area.
The actual cost of you have the pitch side development of the outside development of it. I reckon will cost somewhere between 2.5-3 million, and we've about 1.5 million spent already. Then you have the extension to our community centre that's going to include a gym and different meeting rooms and shop facilities and so on, and that's going to come in at about 2 million. That's obviously a little bit longer down the road. We're waiting for planning. So the whole cost will be somewhere around the 2.5 million sort of bracket when it's actually finished. And as I said, we're well on our way. We're already 1.5 million spent.
Yeah, fantastic. Siobhan, you're on the LGFA side of things, of course. As I keep saying, you're all Mungret, but what a year it's been so far for the ladies. They're still going. We're heading into December now, and they'll be in the All Ireland series. As Donal said, there promotion was key for that team. They've done it, and now they've won a Munster title. So they have now broken new ground. I mean, other teams maybe in the club are doing that, but they've now done it in terms of bringing home a provincial title to the club.
Absolutely, they had a long wait, about 11 years to go back up senior. So we were successful this year. And all credit goes to the girls. They put a plan in place last November. They stuck to it. They were back in the gym at pre-season early last January. They've put in a savage year. They've been at the gym, strength and conditioning with Satanta, on the pitch 2 nights a week, training, challenge matches, the league final, or the league during the summer, and then into championship late August. And fair play to them, they achieved their goal, winning the county championship this year, a tight match against Knockganey. And then we went into the Munster round robin. We had a great match in Aberdorney, away to Aberdorney, and a fantastic win 2 weeks ago in Mallow against Middleton. So next up is the weekend of 30th November, will be the All-Ireland semi-final, and it's new ground. Everything here is just a bonus. It's never been done before at the ladies' side, so credit where credit's due. They're a fantastic bunch.
Yeah, Matt, you want to come in there?
Yeah, I do actually. I want to address Donal first, and I'll come to the ladies. As I said, we were speaking with the president of the Camogie Association the other evening, and we seem to glean from him, Tom. I think that there were different degrees of enthusiasm for the one club concept which you have adapted. Would say it would appear that the ladies' football and the Camogie Association are far more enthusiastic about it than the GAA. Now, do you find that in Mungret Club?
No, I found actually, going back, take you back a small bit, Matt. Back in 2012, we embarked on a 5-year plan, which is quite common now for clubs to do. We were one of the first clubs in Limerick to do the 5-year plan. And a very integral part of that particular 5-year plan was the whole idea of the one club ideal. And from about, I suppose, 2014 on, the actual ideal, and the plan was that we'd be one club, because there's no question about it that any club that now wants to move forward, it's a combination of all the four games, the camogie, the ladies football, the hurling, and the football, all working collectively together to grow. I mean, what the plus side of what we enjoyed last year with the lads, and this year, winning our first ever at any code, our first ever Munster football, to have your name out there in lights. But I have to say to you that my experience, and I've probably been involved going back that length of time, is nothing but being positive to the whole ideal of working together to promoting Mungret St GAA club as one club. So it's really pushing an open door, Matt, in our case. Now, I was involved at county level with other clubs, and we were in Crow Park trying to get it in. We realised that in certain places, in certain other counties and other clubs, there was resistance. I must admit that from the time it was promoted in our club here, I've never found any resistance at all. It was all a case of working together. Because there's going to be a few challenges here and there. That's only natural. You'll get challenges between hurling and football. You'll get challenges, and it's how you deal with the particular challenges and how you benefit from them. But from our point of view, it's the combined energy of all of the, and come down here any Thursday or any Tuesday or of the weekend, the number of young girls playing camogie, young girls playing ladies football, and obviously on the other side as well. There's a fantastic buzz. Young people down, it brings in the parents, and I can't but say this, everything about the whole ideal has been more than positive, and I'd recommend it to any club to do it. There will be challenges, of course, and that's good too. That's their opportunities to work on.
Mary, seeing a hurling, seeing a football, seeing a ladies football, going in the right direction in camogie as well, I'd say. Picked up a bit of silverware in the last week.
We did indeed, and I suppose we're a very young camogie club in comparison to other camogie clubs in the county, and I suppose there's lots of ways of achieving success. I'm delighted to win the junior plate final on Thursday night, a very, very tight match against a very experienced FINA side. Our junior side, our 15 side, they're very young, so it was a great achievement for them, especially they were down 5 points at half time, and to get that strength and courage and determination to battle through was great. But I would like to say there's lots of ways of achieving success. Silverware is one of them. But I suppose in Mungret St. Paul's as a club, as a one club, our overall aim is to keep these kids playing sport. You know, there's a huge drop-off rate, and I know myself and Siobhan have had loads of conversations about this. There's a huge drop-off rate that's well documented, as we know, in terms of girls and sport. They've got to enjoy it. They've got to come down and have fun. We aim to have 2 teams, and we do have 2 teams at every level. Some girls are going to excel from a competitive point of view. Some girls are there for the enjoyment with their friends, and we've got to cater for everybody here in the club. And I do think we're doing a very good job of catering for everybody in the community in terms of how they view sport and how they want to participate in sport.
Mary, I have access to your notes every week, and you know, full credit to Wanda Dewan, like for what she produces every week. You know, but the amount of activity in Mungret St. Paul's at underage camogie level is phenomenal. Between competing in all competitions, tournaments, everything, it is really building the camogie from the bottom up.
Well, 100%. We've over 300 girls registered playing camogie. There's a huge camaraderie, I suppose, between camogie and LGFA and all of the, you know, you will see there was as many camogie coaches and girls watching the LGFA final and vice versa last Thursday night, and as well as Donal and many representatives. So I suppose as a club, you know, we celebrate club. We don't just celebrate each and every code. And you know that's yeah, in camogie we have participated in, you know, we got to the Mackey League Championship final this year with under 14. We were unlucky to lose that by a point against a strong core team. We got to the Mackey League final, that unfortunately didn't happen for a number of different reasons. But you know, if you go down to the pitch any night of the week, I went down about 3 weeks ago around Halloween, just down to the under 8 training, under 6 and under 8, and there are over 70 girls on the pitch training. You know, we're the envy of every other camogie club in terms of our numbers, in terms of our volunteers, and just in terms of the activity, I suppose, and all of the work that has to go in behind the scenes to facilitate that.
Tom?
Very good. Siobhan, I put it to you, the word volunteers came up there out of Mary's voice, or Mary's mouth. How do you get the volunteers? Because it's all well enough having 300. Take
a leaf out of Donal's book. If you ask them, it's very hard for them to review.
But in all seriousness, the operation, we shouldn't call it an operation, but to run a club, you know, 300 camogie players, I don't know, it's probably similar enough numbers. LGFA, the men's side of the house is probably, you know, 500-600 across the 2 codes, I'd imagine. How do you get the volunteers? How do you coordinate everything to make sure that things run smoothly on and off the pitch?
I suppose, like the one club model really works, and it works well because I suppose the 3 of us, we're surrounded with like-minded people. We're all in it for the same reason. We're in it because of our first and foremost, we get involved because of our kids. And then you're in it because there's a sense of community, enjoyment, fun. You meet new parents, make new friends, and like the kids then enjoy it, and the kids bring on their parents. So it's easy enough. You just ask once or twice, and you kind of, you know, you gently nudge people in the right direction to say yes. And I think because the club is growing year on year, and like Mary said, success on and off the pitch, which is equally as important, the parents stay and they get sucked in, and then we're just, it's good. Yeah.
I suppose it's all about getting them in at a very, like when I started, I just used to help out in the shop selling the sweets for a couple of evenings a week, until eventually you kind of get roped in a little bit more and a little bit more. And you know, one night after a very successful Regina Long tournament, we were celebrating afterwards in the club bar, and somebody suggested to me, you know, would you consider doing the chairperson? And you know, in the bar after a win, you kind of you kind of say yes. And
was it near closing time, Mary?
Near closing time.
Be opportunistic when you're asking people.
Yeah. It's and look, it's a fabulous way of, you know, we're a very big urban setting, you know, and I'm from out the country, and I came into an urban setting. I'm living in Mungret now about 22 years, and I've said this many times. It was only not even when my kids started school, because I teach myself in Newcastle West, so I don't ever get to drop my kids to Mungret or collect my kids from school. But when I started coming down to the pitch, meeting other parents, meeting other volunteers, then you start to feel a sense of belonging. And I suppose that sense of belonging, my kids first started when they were 4 and 5. My eldest is 14 now. And it is only in the last 5 or 6 years that I actually really feel I belong here where I'm living. I don't feel like this is now home. I'm from Askeaton. Askeaton probably isn't home now anymore. Mungret is home. And Mungret St. Paul's has brought that for me and my family.
And just to add to what Mary and Siobhan have said there, Siobhan used the term which I like, sucked in. We have a policy. The ideal in Mungret, actually, we allow for the fact that people are very busy. You made the point there about the 300 boys and 300 girls playing the camogie, and then equal numbers playing ladies football. Same with the underage boys. But we always say to a parent who comes down that, first of all, he or she and both are very welcome. And then we might say to them, look, can you give 2 hours a week back to the club? And that's all we ask. Isn't it kind of a commitment for 3 or 4 hours? But just, can you give 2 hours a week? That's all. And it's amazing, as Mary pointed out there, that when you give the 2 hours, and to go back to the phrase that Siobhan used about being sucked in, suddenly the 2 hours becomes 3 hours, becomes 4 hours. But you don't realise this, you're giving more time because you're enjoying it. And the point was already made. Sometimes we forget about the fact that we are a sporting organisation. It's about enjoyment. And if people are enjoying themselves, word spreads, and then you build up the camaraderie among the members and so on. And word goes out that we are a community. We're a very large community, and as communities go, I suppose the GA is unique that the vast majority of people involved in the local GA club are either living in, have an association with the local community. So overall, and other point is that when you delegate a job to someone and you trust them to do it, you don't micromanage them, and that's exactly what's being done at ladies football, camogie, and the other side. You ask the person, will they do it, and you let them off and do it. If they need help, they'll come back to you. If they're not doing it, probably as well as you might like them to be doing so, you'll obviously maybe have a sort of a nice, kind word in their ear. But it's positive. It's all about the promotion of the enjoyment of our young people playing games.
And what Donal of the accusation from many around the county that you're going to have so many players now in all the codes that there'll be no stopping you into the future. Is that an easy thing to say? That you're a big urban centre and a big urban area, and as you say, there's probably 300 or 400 at each code that that the rural areas won't be able to compete. Is that an easy thing to just throw at Mungret?
I think, in fairness, Tom, to be fair about it, you have to empathise, that there is a big problem with rural depopulation. There's no question about that. And I've contacted all the clubs around, and I'm friendly with all the clubs. And there is a genuine, we do have numbers. But I think the very important thing to point out there is that there's an awful lot of areas who have big numbers, and there's nothing happening. Big numbers on their own won't guarantee you involvement or won't guarantee you success. It's down to the organisation, and in fairness,
it's down to the culture of it, I suppose. Is it the culture of what you're trying?
Culture. It's both the two people on my left here. The buzz that's around the place, on the delegation of the work, involving people, engaging with people, and so on. So there's a lot of hard work. You have to manage the numbers. People just won't drift in. They won't keep coming back if they're not enjoying it. So big numbers guarantee you. It's great to have them. Let's be honest about it. It's great to have big numbers, but then we cater for them, because I think in every code, and Mary alluded to it there, in every code we enter 2 teams. We enter 2 teams at every grade from under 12 up. So we try and give as many people as we can, boys and girls, games with blitzes and so on. So it's about managing numbers as well as just having numbers.
Yeah,
we're very transitional club as well. I suppose we're a big urban area. We have Raheen Industrial Estate, Regeneron, Eli Lilly, the 5 schools in our location. So we do get a lot of girls, especially. I don't know so much about the male side, but we would have a lot of girls who would come and play with us for 2 or 3 years, whether they're here at college, whether they're here working, and then they move on as well. But we welcome that, because everybody brings something. No matter where they are, where they've come from, everybody brings something different. We can learn something different from them. And even this year, we had 3 girls leave after the county championship, and they'll be a huge loss. And even themselves, when they were going, they were kind of like the one thing that they didn't want to move on with their work or their personal lives was they had such a good year here at Mungret, and that is something that, you know, everybody wants to hear, that they really enjoy their time here on and off the field.
Yeah, great compliment to get. Yeah, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I would just like to ask a question to Siobhan and Donal, the same question. The whole old chestnut of the dual player and the management of the dual player. Now, I was just reading your camogie team that won the other night, and I see there's a few players from the ladies' football in it, and of course we know the crossover that's in the hurling. So it's a delicate management job to do that successfully.
It is, but ladies football would be very much of the opinion to encourage dual players. I think girls, to keep them playing sport is what's really, really, really important. And I think to offset the knockoff of girls playing sport, especially in the teenage years, is to encourage them to keep playing. It's up to me and Mary and the coaches we have involved in camogie and ladies football to facilitate the girls. If there's an overlap, we get together, we work it out. For our senior team now and Mary's camogie, I think we have 5 dual players. And it's up to us and the coaches to work together to accommodate the girls. It's a huge commitment for anyone to play 2 codes, or even outside of the GA. There's a lot of girls playing hockey or soccer. Yes, they need to stay at it. They need to keep playing whatever they want to, and we need to facilitate it. And this thing that pick a sport or pick one over the other, I am not of that mindset at all.
Yeah, what I said, Siobhan, it's exactly the same. That we put the primary decision making at the player's feet. We said to the player, you know, if you want to play both, we'll cater for that. If you want to play one or the other, we'll cater for that. And even this year, for example, with a couple of players who decided, look at a very busy year last year that went on into the month of December, and a couple of players decided that opted for one code or the other. A couple of players come to mind who played senior hurling, are very competent members of our senior hurling team, and then our juniors team started to go well, and some of them drifted back. And I hear one of them already has said this year that he plans to play both games next year. So it's very much, you know, you've only so many years playing it, but it's very much, and you've, as Siobhan made reference to the fact, there are other codes as well. Although we find, particularly from a hurling point of view on the boys' side, that there's so much activity going on. Our senior football team this year would have played just approximately 20 football matches. So you don't really have time for anything else other than hurling and football. So it's very much encouraged that if a boy or girl, for that matter, wants to play both codes, we love to see it.
Could I just step in there and say, even though at club level, you know, we can work together. We had found issues obviously at county level and Munster level in terms of trying to facilitate players playing dual codes. And unfortunately, at that more senior level, a lot more work has to be done in allowing and facilitating this to happen. Like, just for example, this weekend coming up, for example, even we've got 5 girls now playing in the All-Ireland semi-final the same weekend as the Camogie Blitz, the County Camogie Blitz, you know. So challenges like that keep arising, and while we work really hard in club level to facilitate it, you know, it's not always facilitated as best as it can be at county and Munster level. So I think a lot more work has to go in there for both of the codes to work together better to facilitate the girls to play as much as they want.
And to support the area, for example, it cuts across all codes. The weekend before last, our under-20 hurling team played Thursday night. A lot of the same players were down to play football, which they did on the Friday night. There was a gap then, and they had to play under-20 hurling on Sunday. So in a space of 4 days, many of players got 3 matches. Now, there's an example where, in fairness to anyone, from a player welfare point of view, expecting players to go literally 3 nights in a row. So it's a case of all the, whether it's camogie and ladies football or whether it's the boys at that hurling and football, of coming together using common sense and don't, you know, to avoid the whole burnout factor and putting pressure on players where they might have to decide between one code or the other.
Donal, I didn't realise exactly how far Mungret had come until about 12 months ago when I was writing a bit of a tribute to the late John O'Grady, and I think I actually discussed it with you at some subsequent time. And to discover like that he couldn't play minor. There was no minor team in Mungret. He played hurling, minor hurling with Young Irelands and minor football with commercials. It give you, I know it's a spell of what, nearly 6 decades, but like it'll give you a sense of the low base that you have come from to where you are today. But a point I would like to make, I remember about 25 years ago when Limerick City and the Limerick Environs was a black spot nearly for the GAA. I think it was even described as a black spot, you know. And then we had the emergence of Na Piarsaigh, you know. And did Na Piarsaigh, you know, did they provide a sort of a template for the likes of the Mungrets, the Ballybrowns, the Monaleans, who've made absolutely massive strides within the city now?
I would agree fully, Matt. I think huge credit is due to Na Piarsaigh. There's a very friendly rivalry between ourselves and Na Piarsaigh and Monaleen and other clubs, but there's great credit due to them, because anyone who ever had the pleasure of being in Caherdavin of a Saturday morning and seeing 300-400 young boys, and I'm talking about boys in this case, out there training and on a Saturday morning, I think Na Piarsaigh have done a fantastic job in relation to the development of the game outside in the Caherdavin. I think, you know, something we probably followed ourselves as a result, and so did Monaleen. Just to go back on the point, just to clarify, you mentioned about John O'Grady. I think it's fair to say that Mungret St. Paul's J Club, St. Paul's was a separate parish and came together. But it's important to say from the early 70s on, my underage hurling in Mungret was very strong. We won the county minor in 1975. We contested the 81 final. We won the 93 final. Where it was actually football from that period and has grown from being a very poor relation of the hurling to where now it's equally as strong as the hurling in the parish. So I think it's important to bear that in mind. I remember in the early years, Mungret playing junior B football. We've now graduated to playing a county semi-final. But the underage hurling from the early 70s, great work was done at schools level, particularly in St. Neston's School, and we benefit from that.
Tom?
Good, yeah. We're nearly there, folks, in terms of the time with you. But what about the non-playing members and the non-volunteers? Is there something in the community? I know your soccer club colleagues there in Mungret, they would describe, I think, their slogan in the heart of the community. But what's there, Donal, for you know, people who may have hung up the boots or the hurley in terms of staying involved and staying connected to the community? Because that's something that some clubs aren't able to do to keep everyone connected, you know?
Yeah. That's good.
Well, we have a huge mothers for our Gaelic for Mothers and Others. So that would be for maybe people who have never played football, but women especially, and would like to come back and play sports. That's hugely successful, and they have numerous outings throughout the year. They're never
they're having more fun than everyone else, I think, by the looks of it.
Oh, absolutely. And I know Mary is setting up something similar with the camogie. They're just waiting to come up with a kind of a catch name for it. I know not the older, maybe more mature men of the club get together every Wednesday night, and they have kind of a men on the move. And the community centre is full morning, noon and night below. We have a huge international community. So we have a big Filipino community, a big Indian community. They're at the clubhouse nearly every week, celebrating a christening, a wedding, a funeral, whatever it is.
And just to step in there, just to show the diversity, you know, on Sunday night in the bar area of the club, we had the camogie AGM, and in the hall area of the club, we had an Indian wedding going on. So that just shows the diversity of the community and how we're using the facilities and how inclusive we are as a club, I suppose, is really important. And by getting people, they might come down to the community centre to book it for a wedding or a funeral or a communion, but they see what's going on the pitch, you know, and kids see other kids having fun. And next thing you know, they're coming down, they're looking to join the club, and, you know, we're going to end up with a more multicultural club going forward, which is obviously what everybody wants to see.
And to add to what the girls have already said there, it's a very good point you make, Tom, because as you know, in a lot of cases, when the lads gave up or retired from hurling, be it in their early 30s or whenever, they drifted away from the particular club. I think one of the huge successes of Mungret St. Paul's GA Club has been the success of the mothers and others, because as well as everything else, they bring up fantastic buzz, fantastic energy. But the one thing that I've noticed that, particularly in the last couple of years, is the huge support we're now enjoying. Below in Abbeydorney, when we played Abbeydorney in the Munster final, there was a huge support from Mungret from all sides. The same in the actual Munster final. So what you're now having is this, that a lot of people are using it. It's a social outlet, and with a very big crowd behind in Charleville on Thursday night for the final. So what we try and encourage is that, purely from a social, but create that sense of belonging. And again, I suppose that's a very good example. When we were, if I can use the term, an all-male club, all-male clubs probably lose that. There's something about having a one club model, is that you bring that sort of level of camaraderie into the particular club. And there's no doubt that the ladies football in camogie, and I mentioned the mothers and others, and Mary now is going to start off the retired former players playing the camogie and so on. So
Chicks with sticks. Chicks with sticks. Chicks with
sticks. That's very good catching.
That's right, yeah. And it's what do the same. So I'd have to say that it's funny, we should finish the chat on it, but I have no doubt that any organisation who follows the one club model, who genuinely integrates both the male and female side of it, they will benefit from even the membership. I have to say that fellas, for some reason, down through the years, are very slow about asking people for membership. The ladies that have no problem, won't let you play unless you're a full member, and have as a result, the income we're making from our membership has soared over the last couple of years, and it's down to one reason, because the ladies have no problem on looking for membership, won't let you play unless you're a member, whilst we were kind of very much grey about it. We weren't good at doing it, so it's a synergy situation. You're bringing the strengths of all four codes together for the actual benefit, and now we're enjoying it. The other thing I just want to finish on, it's interesting you mentioned about facilities. When a couple of years back, when we built the facilities, we get first refusal to all teams within the club, be it under 8, be it under 10, be it under 12, right up to senior. And then if there was a free hour, we could let that out, as a source of income. I think I'm glad to report that if you pass Mungret with the lights on any winter's evening, the situation is there's no allotment to let it out to anyone else, because the clubs within, be it under, as I said, all the grades, hurling football, camogie ladies football, they're taking it up, and it's in full use from about 5:30 on until about 9 o'clock, Monday to Friday, and obviously during the day on Saturday and on Sunday. So that's a great reflection of the use of the facility.
Superb, yeah.
Lads, the overall financing of the club, huge development going on off the field, and multiple teams going out across all four codes. An awful lot of money to be raised.
Yes, we've a lot of money to raise. We've been lucky that over the last number of years, for example, we have run with Davy Fitzgerald through Kieran O'Brien as the coordinator of it, Limerick City's family. And that has been a huge success. Been a huge success provided not alone the event itself, but the support we get from the community. Okay, we've membership, we've a lotto with the GA development draw and other fundraising activities. But we've been very fortunate today. Now, it's also important to say that we got 51 companies on board in our community to support the development. And we also asked members, would they contribute so much a month over a 5-year period? And before a start was turned, we got up on 300 of our members, families. And times have obviously got more challenging. They have contributed. And I think between both sources of income, we will probably generate somewhere around €1 million. And that money, those schemes were coordinated by members of the club itself. And we have to acknowledge the work that was done by Colin Kelly, John Hargan, both of them. But that on its own would not generate money unless the people contribute. So to get 300 people to give without any comeback. There's nothing. Doesn't include membership. Doesn't include anything. It's towards the contribution. So we've been very fortunate that way. There's been tremendous, generous goodwill of our members. I'm going to say that then, if others want to come on board, they're also very welcome.
Is it one kitty in the club, Donal?
Yes. The model is, the actual model is that it's being a one club, there's one finance committee, both all clubs have their own, obviously, petty cash, we call it one of a better term, but for major expenditure, it comes from a central fund. For example, take the strength and conditioning out, that's become very much in line for the last, definitely the last year or two, and you see other clubs have benefited from that as well. But it's the one finance, the one club model in every sense. We've won. But the ladies football run their show with emphasis on coaching, organising of games, blitzes, and so on. Same with the camogie, and they don't have the same pressure then on raising finance. That doesn't stop them raising. I mean, there have been successful events that they have organised that have been well supported, cake sales, etc., etc. But we all rowing together for the major events, such as Limerick's Fittest Family, such as the membership and all that. That's combined for the club. So there's anything of that's a business in the area will have 3 visits from 3 different units within the organisation. Just one unit will visit and obviously hopefully maximise what they get.
Last question from me, Tom, and I'll direct it to Siobhan.
Okay.
A very, very important few weeks coming up, Siobhan.
The bonus territory match, they're saying the bonus territory. Playing that line, like, you know.
Now a small bit, you know.
I know.
But you're going to be playing Strandhill, is it, or Paris Gales?
So if it's, so that quarter-final is next weekend, the 23rd, in the Netherlands. So we're playing the winner of that. So it'll either be Coolrace Strandhill away in Sligo or Paris at home in Limerick.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah.
Exciting times.
All preparations are going well.
All preparations going very well, yeah. We're still training, still at the gym, still on the pitch 2 nights a week. I think at this stage, nobody wants the year to end. The girls are quite happy to continue. This is stuff dreams are made of. You know, to win a county and a Munster medal in the same year is just, and to be the first team in the club to do it. And I know it sounds a bit, well, it's for me because it's for the ladies. To have the girls to do it, it's really extra special. Sorry, Donal.
No, absolutely. It's Mungret St. Paul's. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic, yeah.
Really is. No, I think it's
I was actually absolutely thrilled that day in Malone. And forgive me for singling out people, thrilled especially for my old friend Nan.
Oh, unbelievable, herself and Betsy, yeah. Fantastic. But the whole team put in an epic performance from start to finish. It was just, and you know, like John said at his interview at the time, it's not just the team, it's not just the 15 that start, it's the bench. And this is what we're blessed with. We have a bench. We have 5 to come on, we have 5 more behind them, dying to come on, and then about 10 or 12 more girls just waiting for their opportunity to make that team. And like this is, you know, John Kiley will tell you, trust in the process, and it's all about the bench. But seeing it firsthand with the club this year, it absolutely is.
Very best of luck in the semi-final and hopefully the final, Siobhan.
Oh, yeah, well, look.
Congratulations on what you've achieved so far.
Yeah, all roads lead there now. So, yeah, we just keep the momentum going and hopefully we'll get there.
And I suppose it's fair to say, I go back longer than anyone around here in relation to following games, but probably to me one of the finest displays of Gaelic football I've ever seen was the second half against Abbeydorney, down in Abbeydorney. We started, you know, obviously they got, not obviously, but they got a goal and 3 points to start. Abbeydorney, they were playing at home. Everything would have been in their favour, but I must say that the performance of our team in the second half was a joy to behold, and it was one of the finest displays I ever saw from a Mungret St. Paul's J football team in my time.
Can I just say as well that the buzz that it has brought to the community, what the girls have achieved, you know, in terms of the kids in the schools making posters, you know, them organising buses to go to the semi-final, the flags that are up, the good wishes, you know, it's just brought an amazing buzz to the club. I have to compliment Anya Ryan, the captain. She's just absolutely amazing with the young children. You know, I saw her running onto the pitch for the Munster final, and she was hand clapping the girls on the side of the pitch. The same when she was running off the pitch at half time. She took time on that day in the middle of a very challenging Munster final to go over and to talk to the girls who were there, and like it's just amazing. She's such a role model for every young girl who wants to achieve in sport, and as all of the girls are, but I just have to single out Anya especially. She's been incredible.
Superb. Okay, folks, we must thank you very much for your time. You've given us plenty there. I'm sure other clubs will take a few pointers there. They might be knocking on your door for advice. You never know. But as I say, we wish you the best in the concluding stages of the season. I know you're still in a couple of other competitions aside from the ladies football, but we'll be watching that one in particular with close interest. So, Siobhan, Donal, and indeed Mary, thank you very much for your time this evening. And we'll chat to you again soon, I'm sure.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks very much, folks. Thank you. Pleasure having you.
Okay, Matt. Yeah, very food for thought there, I'm sure, with the
there's a lot of food for thought, but the overriding consideration, Tom, is that clubs that are thinking of going down that road, they have nothing to fear.
Yeah. No, I think
it's all positive, and they in the last 10 years, like you know, they were trailblazers, Tom. You know, when they adopted the one club concept. You know, and they have really brought it to a fine art. Now, I think we explored most of it there now of how it is done, and there's absolutely huge credit to them. You know, and you know it's all about unity and working together.
Yeah. If you build it, they will come, as they say, Matt. It's it's a simple matter.
That is why for the GAA the only future is together.
Yeah, no.
You know,
I think
I would be saying I would be quite blunt with those that are against it at this stage. Please go away.
Yeah, just to conclude on it, the point I liked that they raised there was the support. You did very noticeable at the Munster final that the male cohort of the club were out in numbers, and a lot of them wouldn't have had sisters or family involved. You know, it was just they wanted to be there to support their own club.
Yeah, I got an image, Tom, that day of 6 or 8 senior officers of the GAA side of it, including Donal. They were one of the first to turn up in Capamore that day.
Yeah.
You know, which it was phenomenal. You know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, well, as we said, we're wishing them the best in the All Ireland semi-final at the junior level for the ladies football, and indeed they've a couple other teams still contesting domestic honours as well as the season comes to an end. Okay, Matt. I think we'll stay. Where will we stay now? Camogie. I think I know last week myself and John, we hadn't been at the game, but we touched on the previous weekend's finals. There was a couple of finals you attended, I believe. So just to give a brief overview of those.
Yeah, I attended the Junior B final and the Junior A final, Tom, and the Junior B final. Both finals, they were just not just fantastic matches; they were fantastic occasions. Now, the B final went to extra time before Ballygran got the better of Tournafulla, Tom. But the crowd that was in Cooley Roo, it was simply phenomenal. Like, it's still the talk of the place, the crowd that was there.
Yeah.
You know, and moved up to Ballygran in for the A final, and it was much the same, huge crowd again. You know? So, like, the game is taking root, like, and as you mentioned at the outset, like we were at a lovely celebration on Sunday evening, you and I, you know, and you can see the growth of it all around the county, and it's absolutely fantastic. Now, it's tough, hard luck on Tournafulla. You know, they've lost 3 B finals in a row. You know, now they have a young.
They're wondering, will their day ever come?
They must be wondering, but. Croke Kilfinney lost three intermediate finals in a row, and that they eventually came. You know, for Ballygran, you know, it was the resurrection of a fallen giant. You know, that like I remember covering the day back in Drumcollar in 2011 when they were crowned senior champions. You know, and they have started the road back. They'll be playing Junior A next year. You know, which like. But I suppose in defence of Ballygran, you know, they had a decline, mainly, I suppose, because of the emergence of a couple of clubs beside them. You know, all new clubs are very, very welcome. You'd Fianna Kilmedia on one side, you know, and then on the other side you had Blackrock Effin, you know, and coincidentally the manager of Blackrock Effin, Lisa Maloney, was a county senior winner with Ballygran in 2011.
Yeah.
But you know, they probably have suffered from a numbers point of view, in that they're cornered, and of course there's a team in Charleville, and of course there's a team in Newtown, so like they're a bit cornered in there. But you know, it's good to see him taking a step back up the ladder, you know, and because, you know, there's a great tradition. You must remember, Tom, Ballygran won an All-Ireland Senior Clubs title.
Yeah. I know it's look. I think you tend to see it more in the camogie than hurling. You'd see clubs can rise and fall quite rapidly sometimes, you know, and obviously they've fallen quite rapidly. But trying to make those steps back, that's the key, you know, isn't it?
Yeah. But Tom, I really enjoyed those two games, and a whole sense of occasion. But like, it was tempered a small bit when the result came in from Fethard. You know, the Crow Kilfinny had lost by a point to Modilligo.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, no,
they
we
were
mentioned it.
real hard luck. Now, real hard luck.
Yeah.
You know, they did everything to win the camogie match. You know, but you know, that little bit of luck that you need in a tight situation to get you over the line, it just didn't fall their way. And like, I was talking to one or two of the girls the other night. You were probably talking to them as well, of the Croke girls. You know, and you know, it's one that's hurting. But you know, Croke Kilfinny are well placed to go up senior.
Yeah. Oh no, they've been winning. They're in the habit of winning games. Yeah.
They have the habit of winning games, but Tom, you know, the senior championship is nothing new to Croke Kilfinny. Like Ballygran, they were All Ireland club champions, and they've been Limerick senior hurling champions 13 times, or senior camogie champions 13 times. You know, that doesn't happen by accident. You know, but what it does is it builds a great tradition there. And so it's nice to see him back in senior ranks for next year. Tom, I just want to clarify a point that I misunderstood what was happening when I said that there was no relegation, that Galbally opted to go down junior, if you recall, about 3 podcasts back,
Right.
From intermediate. That is not the case. I got it clarified since. There was no relegation from intermediate this year to bring the number of teams up to 8.
Right. Okay. So it was 7. Yeah, there was a 4 and a 3, wasn't there? So there's 7.
So junior.
Next year. Yeah. So Blackrock Effin are the new team coming in, and we have Corcora coming down, don't we, from senior?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's
you've Croke Kilfinny going up.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So that's how it's ended up. We mentioned Mungret there with the club, of course, themselves. They collected it was in Charleville, which is a little bit of a unique venue for a Limerick final, but they collected the Junior A plate. Am I right? Plate? Cups, saucers,
Junior A plate.
Yeah. Last Thursday night. So a bit of another step on the road for them now. Obviously, their next aim would probably be to try and contest for that championship and see can they make the step to intermediate. But you know, a nice way to round out the year for their camogie.
Decamping to County Cork is not entirely unique in that Ballylanders won the South Junior B final in Kildare 1 year.
Right. Okay. I don't recall that one, Matt. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah. That's camogie. Under 20s hurling, Matt. We now know the pairing of the Premier grade. It will be between Bruff, who defeated Mungret St. Paul's in Mungret last Sunday, and then on Monday evening, just gone, penalties were required in Knocklang as Monaleen edged beyond Doon in sudden death. So Monaleen and I think you were telling me earlier today have never won this grade, and Bruff have only won it once. So it's certainly is a novel pairing in the final.
It's a novel final because until your own Barry Brown arrived on the scene in 1992 and claimed their 4th title.
2022, Matt. 2022.
Sorry, 2022. I think for about 15 years before that, it was nicely shared out between Kilmallock and Piercy and Doon.
Yeah, and I think
Doon completed 3 in a row in 2021, so we wonder why they're senior champions.
Yeah. Now I know, like,
we wonder if there's a connection.
I know, and well, it's actually the first year of under 20 now. We're obviously keeping under 21, as part of the conversation.
Yeah,
and
we discussed it when we were talking this morning, Tom. You recall, because I recall that in 2019 they met in the under 19 final in an absolute classic over in Carrick-on-Laois. But a lot of those players now will not get the opportunity to play because of the changing from 21 to 20. Will miss out.
That was what year did you say? That was the 2022.
2022
Premier under 19 final.
19.
Yeah. Bruff won that day.
What is all this changing about? What are they at?
I can tell you, Matt, if there was one age group that did not ever need changing for me, it was under 21, because you need the 3 years from under 18 to 21, because like player populations would start to decline naturally anyway, because lads are working in college and other parts of life. So to have the 3 years, and most 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds that are playing are well capable of holding their own against a 21-year-old. It's not like at under 12 when, you don't want to see an under 12 playing under 14, because the difference in physicality is huge and all the rest of it. But I don't know, it didn't need to be changed. Okay, we're at under 20s at intercounty level, but like, surely that actually should strengthen the case for club being under 21, shouldn't it? Because lads who are maybe not quite good enough maybe to play in their senior team within their own club, or maybe their junior team didn't have a great year, this is their chance. This could be their final chance to play with the club for in some capacity. You don't know. Like it's. No. I don't think Limerick should have changed it.
But these decisions, Tom, are being made, in the Ivory Tower in Jones's Road.
Yeah.
Instead of at county conventions around the country.
Hang on, no, sorry. Are Limerick not? No, Matt. Are Limerick not unique in having it under 20, or some bit unique? I think Clare is under 21.
I'm not sure, Tom.
I don't think it was dictated on high. I don't know that the clubs have a say in this, and it was voted. I must get clarity on it for next week, because we'll look.
Because we have a convention coming up, and in early December, in which there is no contest for any of the positions. Number one, and number two, there is no notice of motion. I remember back in the old days in the CBS Hall in Sexton Street when there could be up to 50 motions.
Right.
And there has been a total disengagement between the clubs, which is very, very, very worrying.
Yeah, and look, there'll be plenty of clubs, Matt, complaining to you and I about bits and pieces, but
they do.
Until they put it in writing, want to get it changed.
I have a stock answer for them.
Yeah.
Claim back your association.
Yeah. Look, the other grades in the 20s, I don't think we're at the final stage. I don't have them to hand.
We're down to the semi-finals in the A now, Tom. I'm at a disadvantage here in that I haven't seen any of the Premier under 21 hurling championship, because we've been so busy with county finals and Munster championship and all that sort of thing for the last 5 or 6 weeks. But I'm looking forward really to the final on Saturday. But Bruff and Monaleen have already met in this championship.
Yeah, they were in the same group, so weren't they?
They were in the same group, and Bruff won by 4 points.
Right. Okay.
So it augurs very well, very, very well for a very good final on Saturday. And I expect Sunday. I expect a huge crowd in Park Sean McGallett in Kilmallock. It's one of the big finals of the year. I remember the day that your own club Ballybrown won it back in Ballygran. That was an occasion to remember as well. These are capable of delivering memorable finals and memorable occasions. Now, the A semi-finals are on also this weekend. And believe it or not, Tom, 3 of the 4 clubs that are left in the A championship in the semi-finals are from East Limerick.
Right.
Now,
who have we?
You have Maroubor taking on Cappamore in the first semi-final on Sunday at 12 noon in Father Hayes Park in Carrick-on-Laois. And then on Monday evening, that's on Sunday. On Monday evening, You have the only non-East team, which is Garishbalan. They're taking on a Han in the semi-final in June at 7:30. So, like, there is very, very good progress being made in the under-21 hurling championship, and I expect that we could see semi-finalists, especially in the Premier under-20 football championship, emerging after the weekend.
Yeah, no, I think there's a group of 3 there that'll be decided. Mungret actually, now that we
Mungret
mentioned,
I think might set up the semi-finals. The result of
yeah.
that.
Exactly, yeah, and Father Casey's are already winners of that group. Now, we'll get more clarity as it goes on. These things it's been played like a blitz now, Matt. Unfortunately, it's very hard to keep up with it for ourselves and for anyone else, because as Mungret said there, they played 3 under-20 games in 4 days. So look, however that happened, I don't know.
No, it did happen. I remember Donal saying it to me at the time. Yeah, it did happen.
Thursday,
well,
Friday,
one of them was football, 2 hurling and 1 football.
Yeah. They just played a bit of football in the middle, just.
Yeah.
To loosen out. Okay, just the Harty Cup fixtures are on Wednesday afternoon. There's plenty of Limerick involvement. It's not a competition we've actually mentioned so far in the podcast this season, Matt. I'm just trying to locate the fixtures here in front of me. Artscoil Reach are in Group 2, and they're facing Coláiste Cullum of Ballincollig. That's currently set for Mallow, 1:30 start. So Artscoil Reach well placed to come out of that group. Also in that group, I think is it
I have an interest in Coláiste Cullum.
Go on, enlighten me.
I have 3 grandchildren attending it.
Right. Not yet lining out at the Harty Cup level?
No.
Right. And also in that group, Castletroy College against Our Ladies of Templemore. That's also in the same group, as I said. Tumivara, 1:30 p.m. The other Limerick involvement, I'm just trying to locate it here.
John the Baptist are playing TBC in Bantier tomorrow.
Yeah, 1:45 p.m. in that's Group 1. So John the Baptist drew the last day with Doon.
Doon are playing
Rice College.
They're playing Rice College for minutes. Now, you were there with me the day we saw the Doon and John the Baptist. They when they drew in Kilteely. This group is very, very tight. If there's 2 going forward from it, like you have I suppose it's fair to say CBC are pretty certain with 2 wins.
Yeah, well, they got the better of Doon and Rice College, didn't they? So they've 2 wins from 2 and 2 comfortable wins, relatively speaking, anyway. At that,
yes.
John the Baptist, they
had a good win over Rice College.
Yeah, and then they draw the last day.
But you see, were they to lose to CBC,
which wouldn't be unlikely in terms of CBC seem to be strong enough, so it wouldn't be impossible.
Were they to lose and Doon win, it could come down to scoring difference.
Yeah, the abacus will be out. Now, there's an interesting. John the
Baptist are plus 12. Doon are minus 10. 22 points, but you need only a 12-point turnaround.
Yeah. I was just going to say, Doon. Interestingly, Doon are actually playing at 3:00. They've been moved to UL, so Doon are playing at 3:00. They will actually know what they need to do if that scenario arises. So they'll actually have. I would say, some people might say it doesn't actually help, but it is an advantage, especially for the manager. Anyway, you're going to know, do we need to score a goal or a point near the end if that scenario presents itself? Now, look,
but the other side of it, Tom, is it can put pressure.
Yeah, we need to be up by 9 or we need to be up by 8 or whatever it is.
Going out there, I have to win by 10 points.
Yeah, it's tricky, all right.
There's a pressure element in that as well, but the ideal situation is that they'll be played at the same time. I agree with you.
I think venues changed up and all the rest of it because of weather and all that. So, look, we'll see what comes out there on Wednesday afternoon. 4 Limerick schools involved, and good chance that we'll be seeing a couple of them at least in the knockout rounds. We mentioned Nicky Quaid, as you said already, so I think that brings the hurling chat to a conclusion. Football, Matt, men's football that is. Kappa are heading to Austin Stack Park on Saturday afternoon. It's a 1 p.m. start for them against Friaries of Kerry. Are we giving Kappa an outside chance here? The Friaries of Kerry are obviously Kerry champions for a reason.
It's a free hit as far as Kappa are concerned. Like, these are the Kerry Premier junior football champions. They were the ordinary junior football champions 2 years ago. and like they had played a game in the Munster Championship against Finar from Waterford in the quarter final in Walsh Park, and they scored 5-13 to 7 points. And a fellow by the name of Jack Horgan scored 4 goals and 8 points.
Yeah, 4-4 from
including
play, I think.
Including 4-3 from play. You know,
yeah.
and they've also on board former Limerick player Patrick De Bruin, of course. You know, and they have a couple of players that would know a bit about winning championships. That have played with East Kerry in Kerry's heyday. Now Jack Sherwood, who I think is abroad at the moment, is also a member of the club. But he certainly didn't play against Finar anyway. But look, it's been a very, very good year for Kappa. But like, there's something lopsided about this Munster Junior Football Clubs Championship and Intermediate Clubs Championship. I'll just give you a statistic, Tom, and you'd be entitled to call it a damning statistic of the integrity of the competition.
Go on, let's hear it.
You're expecting a tirade now, but no. This is the 21st year of the competition, Tom.
Yeah.
Kerry have won it 17 times.
Right. And Cork, the other 4, is it?
The other 3.
Oh, sorry, 3. Yeah, it's 21. Sorry, yeah, 17 and 3. My maths is bad there.
And not since Knocknagree won in 2017 has it resided outside of Kerry.
Yeah. The Kerry argument, like, how does it? It's never going to be fixed, I don't think, because the GA don't dictate. They don't dictate from the top how many teams should be in your championships, nor do Munster.
They don't, but they dictate on other things, and they should be maybe dictating on these things.
But Priory's our team, if you're looking at it in a ranking system, our team number 24 in Kerry.
Yeah.
And sorry, no, that's not 24, is it? Is it 24? No, 17. Sorry,
17.
Yeah, 8 senior, 8 intermediate, and 8.
Yeah.
They're the winners of the Premier Junior, so 8, and they're the next team basically. So they're even kind of de facto number 16 in Kerry, whereas it's number 24 in Limerick, like 12 senior, 12, 25, 24, whatever you look at.
25 actually, Tom.
Yeah, like 25 versus 17, straight away, like Limerick are always on the back foot at football, but straight away, you know, there's no parity there. Like, and they've allowed the Kerry football champions play in a lower grade, or the Kerry hurling champions play in a lower grade. Is it time we started looking at that? You know,
of course it is time we started looking at it.
Like, would the Limerick intermediate champions be at the same level as Friaries? Probably, or they'd be.
You know, although I'll tell you, they gave the Limerick Intermediate champions gave a very good account of themselves when they went to Kilshannig.
Yeah.
You know,
but ultimately it's a grade that Limerick aren't winning in either. Like,
note this, Tom. Kilshannig are playing Austin Stacks in the semi-final on Saturday or Sunday. It's an all-ticket game, but Austin Stacks are managed by our own Billy Lee.
Yeah, I think it's only capped at 2,000. It's in Kilshannig, isn't it?
It is in Kilshannig,
yeah, just outside Mallow there. So, Billy Lee brought Austin Stacks, I suppose, back to the promised land of senior football. But now they'll be thinking, I think they'll be eyeing up in All Ireland, not to be putting pressure on him, but like that's probably the expectation down there, you know.
Well, Billy is very, very good at managing expectation, as we know from the past. You know,
but that will be the belief in the county of Kerry that the Kerry intermediate champions should be in Croke Park early in the new year. You know, that's every year.
See, there's a belief in Kerry, you know, that every team from Kerry, their destiny in any one given year is Croke Park.
Yeah. If it's an O'Neill's All Ireland size 5, they should be kicking it around in an All Ireland final, whatever the grade. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, look, we'll see how Kappa get on, but I think big underdogs heading to Tralee for that one. But I'm sure they'll have time to celebrate, time to reset, and time to focus ahead of the next one. Matt, have we anything else? I know we've mentioned Kappa more here now in their fundraiser, but
I want to mention Kappa more, and
they're giving away a car.
Yeah, so, and as you know, Tom, there are a few more hospitable places to go. Their hospitality is second to none. And they've been in touch with me during the week, just reminding me about this.
Yeah. There's actually another club under the one club policy in terms
of
camogie,
absolutely. And I think they could have been actually the second club in Limerick.
I think you're right with that. Yeah. So they're giving away a Toyota.
They're giving away a Toyota CHR Sport 1.8L hybrid electric.
Yeah.
How do you fancy driving around in that, Tom? Or 35,000 in cash.
I'd find somewhere to use that as well.
Yeah, we do with that. Plus 4 extra New Year prizes of 2,025 each. Very good. Draw will take place on Saturday, the 11th of January, 2025. Ticket prices are €50. They are limited to 4,999. So you have for every ticket you buy, you have one chance in 499.
Yeah, and early bird.
To top it all, Tom.
Go on, Matt. I was going to do it, but go on. I'll let you at it.
There's an early bird draw on November the 30th, when they will be giving away 2 tickets for 2 days to the 2027 Ryder Cup, plus 500 spending money.
Not bad.
And
not bad. Yeah.
It's very, very clear, Tom, the team of our show tonight, at the very, very top, it makes it very, very clear, Cappamore, GAA and Camogie Club.
Yeah.
So just a quick reminder, they're giving away a Toyota CHR Sport hybrid electric or €35,000 in cash. There are 4 consolation prizes of 2,025 each. And there's that draw takes place on Saturday, the 11th of January. And there's an early bird draw in the meantime, coming up quite shortly now.
The end of the month,
Today is the 19th.
We're the 19th. Yeah.
In 11 days' time, there is a draw to win 2 tickets for 2 days to the 2027 Ryder Cup, plus €500 spending money. So that is Cappamore GAA Club. And as I said, the Cappamore GAA Club, we've been there so many times. And certainly when Mick Neville Park didn't become available or became unavailable for the camogie finals this year, Cappamore stepped into the breach with their wonderful facilities, and we had a fantastic day there, as we had for the previous week for the ladies' football finals.
Yeah, well said. Okay. Anything else, Matt, on the agenda? I know we're running out of games, but it has been a very, very busy time. But I think we've covered plenty there in the last hour or so. We must thank Mungret for coming in, and indeed, if any other club wants to discuss anything with us, we're always contactable. We mightn't always have you, but we're contactable, and we'll see what we can do. Even if you did just a fundraising plug there, like for Cappamore. So the tickets for that, I don't think you mentioned that, €50 QR code and all available there, nice and efficient for people, and available across the social media platforms of Cappamore, GA and Camogie Club. Okay. We must leave it there. So, Matt, thanks a million.
Tom, just before we finish there, I was sorry, as you know, I was unavailable last week, but I would like to take this belated opportunity to express sincere sympathy to the Vice Chairman of Limerick GAA, Frank Reedy, on the passing of his dear wife, Eileen. And, Frank has, he has the rather thankless job of organising the fixtures over the years. But it is a serious blow to anybody to lose their spouse, and also express our sympathy to his family, to the members of his family. As we know, Christine has represented the county with distinction in ladies football, and Jeff has played hurling for years with Fiona in hurling. So I would just like to express our deepest sympathy to Frank and the Reedy family.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, well summed up, Matt, and apologies, it just slipped off the agenda there last week, but well said there, Matt, and we extend our sympathies to the family. Okay, thanks for joining us on Treaty Talk. We